It's a very strange disagreement. Like he would like a song and I wouldn't like it. I said, I don't like the song. Can I do another one? He said, no, I like it very much.
But with Rahman sir, there are never any boundaries.
I didn't learn full classical music because when you understand everything, you become very predictable.
Music changes the screenplay of the film.
I'm Soumya Vajpayee from Hindustan Times, and it gives me immense honor to welcome Mr. AR Rahman and Imtiaz Ali. And I cannot wait to dive into their world of some beautiful music and discuss all things Chamkila. Thank you so much for sparing time for us. There cannot be a better time, I think, to have this discussion because, music is all things spirituality, and this time is all about spirituality. So, thank you, firstly. To start with Ishk Mitai, I mean, ever since I've heard this song, it released in Feb, and I've been listening to it for at least 5 to 7 times a day, and I'm not saying this to flatter you. So there is something about it. So while most music charts right now, on an average, they're dominated by genres like hip hop and a lot of Western music, nothing wrong there. But then suddenly an Ishk Mitai enters, and then you get hooked onto it. You listen to it on loop because there is something so refreshing about it, despite it being rooted in a very folk Punjabi space, still very modern in terms of orchestration, etc. So please tell me about the origin, the thoughts. I hope it's a different question.
No, it is a different question.
It's a different question.
And I must say that this is where I feel that AR Rahman comes in. Because when you were saying this, I also thought about the song. It is a Punjabi song, but it is not. It does not flow like a Punjabi song. It is gone beyond what is usually understood as Punjabi music, while still being Punjabi, and that is how he takes folk and makes it more interesting. For instance, this album, it is entirely Punjabi in a way, like in terms of its musical style, but each song, I feel, he has taken it and put in things or styles that are very difficult to recognize. Yeah. Like this particular song, Ishk Mitai, has a chalat, which is very different. You know, it's what a reggaeton, is it? That's one. So
what's that? What's reggaeton?
Reggaeton is a style of beat, right? Latin American kind of a thing.
So you don't recognize it, yeah.
Exactly.
So, but it gives a very refreshing feeling.
Right.
And you can listen to an AR Rahman song several times. And I'm so glad that you say that this song also, and of course there's
somebody asked me why you didn't learn classical music, or maybe I answered them like I didn't learn full classical music because when you understand everything, you become very predictable. Oh, this is how Yemen should be. When you think that's what Yemen is, and you do a tune, even classical singers come, oh, how did you do that stuff? And because sometimes it's better to be like an outsider, and then you imagine things which could be like that. So it's my imagination what Punjabi music is in Chamkila.
Wow. But again, so groovy. I mean, it stays like even now when we're talking Ishk Mitai. The moment I said Ishk Mitai, it starts ringing in your head. You groove to that.
You've forgotten Irshad Kamil, the great.
Of course, I'm missing Irshad right now.
Mohit. His voice is so beautiful.
Yeah.
His voice is so good. I mean, whatever
really?
he's saying, whatever he's saying sounds great. Yeah.
That's true. So again, as you mentioned, that the magic of AR Rahman, all the projects that this is your 4th Hindi film, right? Together,
right.
4th. So the other 3, I mean, as a music lover and as a music writer, I know for sure that it holds a very cult status. Like the moment you think of a rock star or a highway, there's it's revered, it's celebrated, that kind of music, and I'm sure this one will be added to that kitty. So what is it about him or the two of you together with Irshad that creates that kind of a symphony that it is in a very different space?
I think we enjoy what we're doing. There's no pressure that we have to create a hit and this is what this music company wants. Nothing is never. Even for Rockstar, I said let's have some hits. I said don't worry about hits, sir. Let's go deep into it. That was his thing. I said, is he serious or what? We need super catchy songs.
Yeah.
And so I'm always like I always think commercial at the same time, because if I don't do something which is hooky, and it brings everything down, because today that matters a lot, right? how people market it with song. But not every song has to be there. They could have space for beautiful classical stuff. We could go deep into musicality, and so finding that even from Roja the same thing. There's always a Rukumani, Hamma, Chaya Chaya, which were like engines, and then we had beautiful songs which are raga oriented.
True. But
one thing that I really enjoy, and I think that contributes also, is the fact that with Rahman sir, there are never any boundaries. So to the extent that sometimes if there's a certain beat pattern to which Irshad is writing lyrics, and so Rahman sir says, well, if you have more words, I will change the musical line. Don't worry.
That's unheard of.
It's not written on stone.
That's unheard of.
So nothing.
Yeah.
So and also everything can change, and almost everything does change also with him. You know. So it's like, but it's only when you come to something very pure, you stick to it because it's beautiful. You don't stick to it because it is prescribed.
Right.
That is his trademark.
Wow. Are there any disagreements between the two of you whenever you're working
This
together?
question we got it.
No, then I'll not ask you. How is the working relationship?
Disagreement is a very strange disagreement. Like he would like a song and I wouldn't like it. I said, I don't like the song. Can I do another one? He said, no, I like it very much. I said, you have it as a backup. Let me do another song. Even in this movie, it happened.
Oh.
Like in Bol Mohabbat, this Bol Mohabbat song wasn't there. There was another song.
Right.
And for the same situation, and I liked it. I went ahead and I shot it. And then he said that I am not liking that song very much. Then I had to try to convince him that it's a good song. Then he came up with his golden words, which says, you already have it, I'll make another one, then you can choose.
Oh, lovely.
So then Bol Mohabbat got made. So that is the kind of disagreement that we have.
Wow.
So it's not as though I'm saying, because again, nothing with him is set in stone. For one thing, I have to also say is that if he is saying something, I know that it has come to me after a lot of process. If there's a line of music that he plays, I know that it has come not only because he is a prolific musician, but also because he has thought it through.
Right.
You know?
Like you said, cult status. It comes with a lot of love, preparation, work on all these 3 albums. So naturally, if we do something which is just for the movie, the people are going to throw it on our face. So we want to make it, how close can we go deeper into it, so we can give something else to the people. For instance, we had the song Vida Karo, which is a send-off. It was only a male song initially. And then I saw imagery, which you will know once you see the movie. And I said, there's also a female in it. So can we have her perspective also? We can join. Then Jonita came in. And that whole
it's very, very beautiful.
Wow.
So
it was done after the movie, after seeing the movie.
Talking of commercials, you just mentioned that it has to sell also. Now, the current formula is to sell everything. Now, that I think has led to the trend of multi-composer projects, and every movie track that's a big hit apparently has an amalgamation of multiple songs, multiple people, multiple moods, but no uniformity. That's my opinion. Maybe people like it. So
yeah, everything can coexist. I feel like
exactly.
It's good for certain movies. A movie like in some movies it can't, because everything is connected, and people know that. People can feel why are they celebrating Rockstar, why are they celebrating Highway, why are they celebrating Tamasha or Mani Ratnamji's movies, and Anand Rai's movies, which I've done, is for something. And it's good that I won't be able to do every movie, so it's good to have everything can coexist. But I have to say that I've missed some of the most iconic movies, and I've got a lot of sports movies and stuff. I love doing all this stuff. But because Chamkila is again coming back to a mainstream kind of a narrative, what Imtiaz has redefined himself doing, it's a great playground to play and to do stuff.
But doesn't every film have that scope of multi-composers, but maybe you don't?
No, sometimes I feel that there is a very strong voice of the author.
Right.
And I feel music is a part of the author's voice. It's a part of that, So in a movie like, for instance, Rockstar, it is obvious that we are showing that it's the same singer and composer who's making all the songs that actually AR Rahman makes. So we had to have uniformity. But even in other films, like in Highway, there's a storytelling, And music is such an important part of that storytelling, for cinema especially, that if you change something very elemental.
The trust which comes from him thinking that I will deliver something, the trust which I think that we are in a good place to do, we have to give the best, even without them asking.
True.
No, but also, sir, sometimes I'll explain what happens is that there are so, like when I approached him for Rockstar, for Highway, there was one song in Highway. Today, if you look at the album, there are 14 songs.
Yeah.
Right. So those 13 songs have not been created by me, they've been created by him. And how it happens is that he says, okay, what about this music piece? Or I hear him humming something or saying something or playing something. And then I feel that, oh, if I take this and I put it in that part of the film, then that will really flower, right? So the music changes the screenplay of the film. Once that has happened, then to balance that, I have to put music somewhere else to balance something else out. And that portion starts to, become better.
Evolve,
now, if this kind of a very intrinsic, because that is how I work with Rahman, sir. It's not as though I go with a certain set and I say these are situations when he makes songs. It's not like that, never. Things evolve. Also because when I hear his thoughts musically, then my screenplay also can change or does change, right?
So when music companies come in,
Yeah, of course.
they've been offered from different composers, my song. And maybe that composer has only that kind of talent to do that particular genre of stuff. So they can't give that composer everything. So they get multiple people who can do different genres, which is good in a way.
Which is okay.
Because their
absolutely.
career is made, and I like the more the better. But some movies require this, some,
But if I have to make a Highway, it can't happen.
Of course.
Because music is intrinsic to filmmaking.
But I would want to understand from you, considering, and आपने खुद ही prove कर दिया that your music sensibilities are so enlightened कि आप music के basis पे you are ready to make alterations to your screenplay, etc. Do you have a musician in you?
No, I don't. I'm not.
Do you write, you sing, any instrument, nothing?
No instrument, nothing. It's
गुनगुनाते भी नहीं है?
It's just the pleasure of actually being in the company of musicians. I really enjoy being with musicians, and like Rahman sir, when he's on the piano now, he's taken away the joy of me listening to any other piano recital or which somewhere in a band. I always feel that why is the keyboard player not playing well? That's because
You've heard him. Oh my God.
Anyhow, but the fact is that to be in that space is a blessing, and I really enjoy that, and that somehow I feel that music can do what words cannot do, and words can be very same, but music can never be similar to anything else. It has to.
I think we created something like a band. When
something
it's
like
a safe place to go.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
But there's an emotional jamming, musical jamming.
Imtiaz Ali, AR Rahman,
Exactly. The trio.
Yeah, so I think that itself is an achievement. I said, so let's keep the flag up and keep going, keep doing better things.
Mr. Rahman,
because it's cluttered, the world is cluttered, right?
Of course. And that identity is very crucial, and thankfully you all have maintained it. So, is there a strict no-no for you when it comes to music? Something which is sacrosanct you cannot compromise on as a musician?
Actually, if you look at it goes on Chamkila's songs go in that category. No vulgar stuff. But then if you look at it as a character, if you look at a story, it's a story worth telling. And sometimes with adventures, jump into the fire and figure out how do you come out of it. This was it actually. Because why should I become the songs are already there. Why am I needed? And then you find a meaning. Why? Because take the human side, fill this imagery with all the comments and see what happens. All the perspectives coming as a song. It's musical.
Wow. Okay, I'll close this with two questions. Talking of Amar Singh Chamkila, I was just reading up about him to prepare for this interview, and I realized that there's so much history to him. There is tragedy, there's music, and so much more. Of course, you had to make the film, so you would have dug deep and understood all of that. But did you also research a lot about him, history? Did you go there to understand?
Somebody had to send me all the songs, and they wanted to take the movie. I don't know who it was. I remember like 8-9 years back. So I looked at the songs, and in fact they wanted me to produce or something that time. And so subliminally there was something going on. And
for that long?
No. I knew about it.
Information was there.
The information was there.
So when he came in, I said, oh, it's going to be fun now.
He already was prepared.
Nice. So for both of you, I want to understand the idea of creative satisfaction. What is creative satisfaction for the two of you?
I think when we have enough time to complete something, and we have enough time to do the iterations and to do the mixes. Like in this project, everything was done 3 months before. Everything was locked. It's unusual
Wow.
because I think Netflix had a clause.
Yeah, we had to.
So by
give
December,
them-
we had to lock everything.
Acha.
We had to work towards that stuff, which gave time for iterations for the mix and all that stuff. Self-satisfaction is what.
Of course.
I think I'm not seeking satisfaction per se. You know, I'm just seeking engagement
Okay.
and exhilaration, and that moment where you lose yourself, you know, in what you're doing. So I think,
Like yesterday, right? When we did Bol Mohabbat.
yeah,
Yeah, the reaction of people for the first time when you see all that stuff,
Yeah.
it's because till then we only like 3-4 people are listening to the studio. To see a live reaction,
right.
Always
When it played, when they played, actually, were you there that time?
No, I
So
couldn't.
for the first time, even before the song had released, he actually played it to a live audience.
Oh.
And we also had the chance, I also had the chance to listen to it with a live audience.
Wow.
And when the song played there, suddenly I was very sure that this song has turned out really very well and people might like it. So that kind of thing. And at that point, it was not satisfaction, but a certain type of
Elation.
feeling,
Yeah.
an elation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't work towards it,
Of
but you
course.
enjoy it when it
Right,
happens.
right. Lovely. Thank you so much.
you.
It's been such a pleasure. It was short and sweet, I hope, and
Thank
not
you very
repetitive.
much. No, not at all.